Hey everyone, how are you doing today? My name is Julia Okujax of Julia Jax Consulting, and this is Unplugged. So, apart from the sheer adrenaline buzz of running and being part of a grade A creative force, one of the things I absolutely loved about being in the marketing communications industry, especially the creative side, was the fact that no 2 days were alike, no two clients were alike, and definitely that kept life very interesting, exciting for me. So we brought that flow, some of that flow and that energy to Unplugged, and we absolutely love it. So, I mean, 1 month, 2 months, we'll be talking about agriculture. The next month, we'll be talking about maybe shoes, fashion industry. And it just keeps life exciting because the plethora of growing businesses in Africa, I'm only talking Nigeria now, but Africa is our goal, and the plethora is amazing. I mean, we haven't even really gotten into the other side of food yet. So just watch this space. I mean, just last month we were talking about agricultural value chain, and we get a lot of feedback. And some of the feedback is that people have started doing things that they need to do to be part of that food chain. And here we are in September talking about you, yeah, you at the digital universe. You know, so what is all of this digital universe all about? Well, let me just give you a little back background. Last week, we our guest on Unplugged was Udoro Essien of Bobby and Cracker, and he talks us through some of those concepts and words that have perplexed us. And words like UI, UX. I know how to use them now. User interface, user experience, and coding. I mean, Udoro broke all of that down to us, and he also talks about the imperative of humbling yourself, starting where you are, learning your craft, fine tuning your craft, becoming a master of your craft, and then learning how to define your major income streams and to monetize your knowledge. Odoro also believed that every focused business, growing business, needs to have a well defined digital presence. So do I. I agree. You know. So why am I referring to the past? Hey, it's because everything links up, and we try to bring you pure solid gold information every time on Unplugged. As much as we can, we try to bring you great information. So today, to help us have another link in the chain, we have my new friend and a professional colleague, an author, a writer who contributes to major news papers, and a marketing communications professional who skillfully leverages the different options provided by the digital universe in an effort to help brands build a unique presence and a compelling message. So join me to welcome, like I said, my new friend and your new friend, possibly your old friend and a professional colleague, James Ogunjimi. Welcome, James.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
It's a pleasure. Let's get you on Instagram as well.
Okay.
Okay. I've sent the invitation out. I hope it will. Yeah. Okay. Yes.
Yes.
That was good. That was smooth. Okay, guys. There's so many things you're going to find out about James as we go along. But one of the other things that you may need to know right now is that James, apart from being a marketing communications professional, he also works in a tech startup. That gives a lot of texture to the conversation we're going to have today. And he also has his own marketing communications firm. How do you pronounce it?
Ndio Media.
Ndio.
Yes, Ndio Media.
Okay.
Yes,
Uh,
Ndio.
what does it mean? I'm just curious. It's not part of what I wanted to ask. But,
Is a Swahili word. It means yes.
aha.
Yes.
Because I mean, I was intrigued when I saw it because in Efik it means someone who wanders around.
Oh, wow.
It means wandering, like
Uh,
in Wander. So I was like, okay, I need to ask you this question. Yes.
oh,
Oh, good morning. Good morning, everyone who's here on Facebook. Good morning, Emeka. Yeah, great to see you. You promised and you joined. Good morning, Sister Lero. Good morning, Asin. Good morning, Tendai. Yeah, all the way from Zim. And yeah, I think practically everybody we have here is from another land. So thank you. Thank you for joining us. Hi, Jerry. How you doing? Welcome, welcome, welcome. And to And to those who will join us on Instagram, well, okay, Onye, welcome. Build swimming pools. I build swimming pools. I love your name. Your name is you're already selling your markets with your name. Fantastic. Okay, James, let's get to it because I have tons of questions I want to ask you today. you know.
oh,
So one thing I've realized is these days, thanks to all the information we have access to, many people can posture as marketing communications experts, but what they're actually doing is sales and sharing sound bites. And this is no shade. This is just what I have seen. So my
yes.
question is this: with so many voices whispering or shouting in our ears, especially small businesses,
Oh, okay.
who should we listen to? How do we know who we should listen to that will take us to where we want to go?
Thank you for the question. For me, I think that, like you rightly said, there are a lot of people who talk marketing communications, who talk marketing. Sorry, who try to come up with this is the next big thing that you should do. Naturally, I tend to avoid people like that, and I think that is a very good. It's probably a good idea to avoid people like that, because people most times a lot of people are drawn to quick fixes. Quick fixes. Somebody runs an advert and says, "Copy my template. Use the template I used to market to. I used to sell to 1 million. I used to build a $1 million business." People use taglines like that. They use catch. They use phrases like that, and a lot of people fall for it because I mean it's a very popular thing. If you see a lot of Facebook ads or a lot of Instagram adverts from marketers, you see you know that there is a severe lack of originality in some of the things that a lot of people copy. So, for instance, someone like this person that wrote I've forgotten his name now. He wrote a book called "Sell Like Crazy." I've forgotten his name, and he used a kind of template. He will tell you that a madman marketer reveals all his secrets for this. And a lot of people that have read this book just kind of duplicate that and then come out and say, "Oh, look, I'm a marketer. Learn from me. I built." They use it exactly. They just replace the maybe instead of saying I built a $4 billion business, they replace it with I use this to build a $1 million business or $1 million business. And honestly, it just feels like you don't know what you're doing if you just copy those templates verbatim. Like you don't have any addition, you don't really understand it. So it's probably a good idea to avoid people who just copy templates, who don't understand the core of it. They don't have any original. There is no originality in what they are trying to say. It just looks like something you've seen before. It looks like a regurgitation of what you've seen before, what you've seen in the past, maybe on a Facebook ad, on an Instagram ad, or on a social media page. So if someone knows what they're talking about, they should be able to communicate it. They should be able to give you a unique way to seeing it, rather than just copying a template or an advert copy that somebody else has used in the past, or an email that you've seen. I mean, sometimes people build newsletters. They say, "Okay, I'm trying to build a newsletter," and then you see the same style of writing from an email you have gotten before you have received from a marketer, you see the same thing. So, I mean, it's going to be hard to trust someone when they're just copying something that someone else has used. That means they don't really understand. They're just flowing with the templates. So I think that's how I would respond to that. Thank you.
Okay. Well, it takes me to something when I was deep in advertising, something we had to find out with the client, the USP. And I
Uh,
remember my boss then, Jimmy Bankole, would tell me, Julia, you need to find from this USP, what is your single minded proposition? I'm like, oh my goodness. I sat through that meeting and they didn't have a USP. Where am I going to find it from? And he said, look for it. I said, let's go back and talk to them, And that was audacious of me at that time because I was a junior, very junior copywriter. And
uh,
to come and write things or write slogans, payoff lines for people, it's a difficult thing to do. So how do people really know? Because we're talking about growing businesses, and growing businesses, you are the MD, you are the content developer, you are HR, you're admin, you're everything, you're finance. How
yeah.
Yeah, well, somebody maybe this will help because I've just been really wondering. Someone says Stella says she just learns from Netflix that it's called the coaching scam. I, I I don't want to use the word scam on people, but I guess it's like I don't know.
Uh,
What do you think? Okay, you need to come back on
okay.
Instagram. I think the network threw you out, so let me invite you back.
Okay. Okay. All right. I'm connecting.
Okay, okay.
Okay. So the question, I think I don't really understand the question. The last
I,
question you
I'm
asked.
I'm just asking. Yeah, how do small businesses or small growing business owners figure out that this is what I have to do? This is the voice I should listen to.
Okay. So if I understand the question correctly, you're asking how small businesses or business owners can decide on a way to go, like on how they want to, is it how they want to grow their business, how they want to communicate with their audience.
How they want, or actually all, whose voices do you need to go to? I mean, I could come and say, oh, I'm really great at sales, which I am not really, but I can
Um,
get some information online and put it online and have millions of people following me because I say things in nice rhyming slang and stuff like that. But how do they know who to exactly to go to? That is the question.
so I think that in most instances, it's always a good idea to go with people that have people that have, I would say, testimonials, but that is also very dicey because anyone can come up with testimonials, can get their friends to write testimonials for them these days. But mostly, people that have you can. There's always a way to spot genuine genuine testimonials, like when people are talking about, okay, maybe this person or people that share ideas. I mean, for instance, people that can help, like what Julia Jack's consulting is doing. They create some kind of relevant content that builds trust. They put out information that helps the target audience, like helps the prospective clients understand that, okay, this is someone you can trust. So I see a lot of it on Instagram, from people who don't just focus on saying, okay, buy from me, or trust me, or this is what I've done. They actually create helpful content. If I'm a business owner, I can be on Instagram looking for maybe ideas on how to do this, or ideas on how to grow an email list, or ideas on how to do hiring right, or ideas on this. So there are people in each of those fields that create content along that line. That you'll probably see somebody creating content along the line of, or these are the things you should note when you are building an email list, or these are the things you should note when you are when you're hiring someone, it's not necessarily because they're creating the content not necessarily out of the goodness of their heart. It's supposed to be like kind of trust builder, so that when somebody comes and sees, oh, this person has an understanding of how to do this, then why don't I just get them to do it for me rather than going through it on my own? So that's a way for businesses to also build, to also get, to also know those who understand the business itself, like people that share helpful content, and people that not just when they get testimonials, but people that share helpful content. I will also say that going people that don't focus on, like I mentioned earlier, that don't focus on quick fixes. They probably understand what they're talking about. Um, like the thing you see, a lot of the time you see people who just want to share three quick tips on how on the new thing, this shiny new thing in marketing, or this shiny new thing in this. So it's a very good idea to always avoid them. Nothing happens overnight. Nothing happens overnight. You have to build it. You have to be willing to do the work. And if somebody is telling you that you can get this done in just 3 weeks, or get this done in just 2 weeks, and promising things that are not achievable, then it's probably not. They probably don't. They just want to get the money, and then they don't care the results. So I think that's probably a way to know, to understand who to trust and who to avoid when it comes when it comes to businesses getting those who will help them build things. Yes.
Okay, guys. So you heard it. You heard it here. You have to have helpful content, no quick fixes. People who will put out content there that will help you build your business or know more about your business, understand yourself. I would add, be ready to pay. You know those ones that you pay 1,000 naira for. You probably get the value of 1,000 naira. And I'm just gonna
Yes.
leave it at that. Be ready to pay. Be ready to pay.
Yes, definitely.
So James, in my opinion,
Okay.
many people use the concept branding as a
Okay.
shortcut for marketing. What do you think? What do you think about this?
Okay. So I feel like branding helps you stand out from the myriad of people who are doing probably the same thing. It helps you have an idea of how you want to build your business, like who, for instance, who you want to who you want to communicate with, the kind of how you want to be perceived generally. And that is outside of the marketing part. So I think the branding part just stands you out. It's not, for a lot of people believe it's just the logo, or a lot of people believe it's just the logo, or their logo, or the kind of fonts they use. But mostly it's also how you come through on social media, what people how you come through when it comes to your business, what people are able to associate with you, whether in terms of deliverability, in terms of on Instagram, in the very short form of it, for a lot of businesses that don't really go into the complex part of it. Some of them, a way to quickly distinguish themselves, to quickly stand out, is that some of them go through the route of, say, maybe using unique colors that's like being consistent with their colors, or being consistent in the way they communicate, in the kind of, for instance, if you write in a certain way, if you are talking to your customers in a certain way, you have to be consistent with it, whether it's on your website, whether it's on social media, and then also how you turn out. For instance, if you say that as a business owner, you say, for instance, you say you are for maybe same day delivery or things like that. That's the ability to keep to that, the ability to have something that customers can associate with you. Like, okay, this person, when it comes to this, this is how they keep to, when it comes to when it comes to this business, this is what they said they're about, and this is what they're about. It's not necessarily, that doesn't necessarily have to do about marketing. It's just the perception that people have of you, like trying to actively cultivate that perception, trying, not just through logos, not just through colors, but in the way you communicate with them, in the way you respond, even in the way you respond to comments, and all of those things. All of it matters. It's a way to actively cultivate it. That's how I see it.
Okay. But there's much more to marketing communication than just branding.
Yes, yes, definitely.
Yes. Okay. So could you help us break it down into small chunks for the business owners here who've joined
Okay.
us? What is marketing communications? Yes.
Okay, so marketing communications has like the literal part of it has different fields. You are talking about you're talking about email, you're talking about digital, um, you're talking about digital, you're talking about email, you're talking about for small business, you're talking about ads, you're talking about SEO and some of it. So let me just do a quick breakdown of it. So, for instance, social media is still part of the marketing communications part. It's still part of marketing communications. Social media, of course, we're on social media. We are creating content. Sometimes on social media, you run adverts, you create adverts. You can also use email to build an email list to communicate with people. As far as the last stats I checked, email marketing still has the best conversion rate when it comes to marketing communications. That's because it allows people to have a kind of direct, like it is more it allows people you to talk to people, and then for most people who don't use this do not reply style of messaging of or building email list, your customers can easily communicate with you whether you're selling services or whether you're selling products. So for instance, on people that sell products, whether or not you have a website, whether it's websites are always advisable, but there are a lot of other alternatives these days, whether you're using Paystack or Flutterwave or Seller or some other platforms, even WhatsApp Business. There are always opportunities to communicate with customers. And for the email part, what it provides is that it allows you to be able to communicate directly, to be able to communicate with customers and to also get them to return. So say a customer buys something on your platform, whether through WhatsApp Business or on your website. There's something called cart abandonment emails. A lot of big businesses have been using it for a very long time. But social media, the use of the integration of more selling platforms for small business owners has made it possible for small business owners to also have access to some of these features. Like you can easily just trigger a cart abandonment email. So somebody was ordering something, whether they get distracted, you can easily just communicate with them like automatically and tell them that, okay, look, you forgot this in your cart. Do you need a discount? Is there a reason why you're not buying,
Okay.
and things like that? For services, sometimes email is mostly used for, you can use it to, if somebody signs up to your email list, whether they see your advert or they came to your social media page and signed up to your newsletter, a lot of the times you can easily segment them, and then you're sending emails to them based on what brought them there. So for instance, if I sell a service called, say I have two services, digital marketing or SEO, maybe I'm selling a course and somebody signs up for digital marketing service. Not that they signed up for the course itself, they just signed up to, maybe I shared a piece of content about digital marketing, and somebody signs up to that particular to the email list at the end of it. I know that I can share information directly to them about digital marketing. That way, I build trust with them in their inbox, and then at the end of every content, at the end of every email that they get, I add a mailing list. I add a call to action telling them if you want maybe a 30 minutes consultation,
The
or
call
if you
to
need
action.
yes, or if you need one hack, or if you need to just quickly talk about your business, let me discuss it with you for free, and then let's talk. So from that, you can easily understand what their business better and get them to become clients or customers. So that's one way of communicating with customers.
I think we're coming back. We're coming back. We're coming back. I'll wait for James to come back. But what he's saying is that there are different techniques that you can use. But is it on Instagram? Okay, for guys on Facebook, I can't tell you what he's saying right now. Okay, he's he's popped off, but he'll be right back. So please send your questions. I know some of you are running businesses. Some of you are also social media um, mavens yourself. So please share your ideas, your thoughts, and what you have to say. Comments, questions. You know, James. Just in case you can hear me. Oh, I think someone's going to contact you. You need to come back on Facebook, please. Someone needs to let him know. He needs to come back on Facebook. Okay, he's back now. Okay.
There was a network. There was a network
Yeah,
break.
there
Okay.
was a glitch. There was a glitch, you
Yes.
know.
Yes.
But
Yes.
I think you said you did tell us quite a bit, you know, about this email marketing. And I must tell you that for me it's an aha moment. You know, it's so easy to just spend your time doing Facebook or
Yes.
YouTube or whatever. And what you've said is that there's this email marketing is really more intimate. Really, you
Yes.
can you can tell
Yes.
the people who are serious. Yeah, that's
Yes.
that's really useful information for me. So thank you very much. Thank you for
Okay.
that.
Yes.
You know, okay. So this is what I also have to ask because we're all faced with it's a new world for some of us. Some of us are much older than you know.
Yes.
Yeah, so we
Yes.
don't know. We started with Facebook and we started with Facebook posting pictures of our weddings, our babies and stuff like that. Then business comes and we still use that same Facebook page and things like that. Now, there's so many digital platforms available now, so very many. How
Yes.
does a growing business owner know which ones to engage with? I'll give you an example. Somebody may personally, individually like TikTok, but
Yes.
your customers are on Facebook or on a website. Last week we had somebody who doesn't, he had to go get a webcam because he usually doesn't do all this. That was
Oh.
our guest last week. He had to get a webcam. He doesn't
Yes.
interact on that. Yeah. So
Oh.
how do you define your audience? Because I know that's part of what marketing communications has to do. You have to define your audience, and how do
Yes.
you blend your personal preference with what your audience prefers?
Okay. So thank you for that. The I would say that one of the things that a business has to figure out when they're just starting out is they have to understand, have maybe like a customer persona where they try to flesh out, try to understand who their customer is, what's like, if it's possible, what's the age range their customer falls into, what's the business they are in, what's their pain points, what problems are they trying to solve in their businesses, where can you typically find them, like where will you find them, are you going to find them on Facebook, do they use Facebook, do they use Instagram, do they use LinkedIn, do they prefer to be contacted via email, where do they get their news from, and things like that. So a lot of all those things. So a business does not need to be on all platforms. I mean, a lot of people will say, okay, because TikTok is the reigning thing now, so they're going to go on TikTok. But I mean, if your business does not necessarily, if your core users, the people you want to reach, don't necessarily use TikTok, there's no reason why you should be on TikTok. If people you are trying to reach are mostly on LinkedIn, it's fine to reach them on LinkedIn. If they prefer to be reached via email, it's fine to focus on just LinkedIn and email. And if they prefer you texting them or sending them a message or calling them, they prefer to be reached via phone calls directly instead of trying to send them or reach them through social media ads. Then it's fine to reach them to focus on, say, LinkedIn, email, and phone calls. So, but I mean, that's why I said is always best to understand who are the people I'm trying to reach, where can I find them, where did they get their news. Once those things are figured out, it kind of makes the decision on what platform to be active on. It makes it easier, a bit easier. So then the next thing will be to figure out how we want to reach them, how we want to talk to them, what is the offer for them. I think those are the things that inform the platforms that you use and how you communicate it. And in terms of how to blend personal preference, I think that is almost like sometimes the way your customers want to be communicated with, the way you're supposed to communicate with them, may not necessarily be a place you're comfortable with, that you are very comfortable with, as long as it does not, as long as it does not infringe on maybe personal, intrude on personal, on your personal life. If you don't want that, then I think it's something that, as a business owner, that you are running it on your own, you are the one doing, handling this on your own, handling this and that, you have to probably step out of the comfort zone. So if your customers are people that that you can reach via videos and the likes, and you are not always comfortable making videos, it's something that you would want to get used to if you intend to reach them. So I think that's the part.
Hmm. That's actually very interesting. I know of a couple of people who like, all these TikTok trends that come on, and reels, and
Yeah.
the especially the dancing part. I actually love to dance, but I love to dance in my home, and
Oh,
that's as good as it gets, you know. And those ones that they do this, do that, do that, do that. I think there has to be a blend between your
yes.
persona, your corporate persona, which would help make up your brand, and then the people that you're going to talk. Because I promise you, I don't know how many people would be following me if I was dancing on TikTok every day. I really don't know. I really
Yeah.
don't. I don't know. And that's not to say that I don't love music. I really love music.
Yes.
I do, including the music of today. I may not follow it
Yes.
ardently, but I have a teenager, and I also work with young people, so they kind of keep me abreast of what's happening. And
Oh,
sometimes we have very fierce conversations about, we need to go on TikTok. I was like, okay, you go on TikTok on behalf of Julia Jack's Consulting. I'm not going to do it. you know.
oh, yes.
But it's good to separate. I think it is important. And how would you do this to separate your personal page from your professional page?
So I don't believe that. I mean, it depends. It depends. Some people use their personal page. Some people prefer to separate the business and the person. I don't think there's any rule to it. I feel like what matters is the value that is being communicated, and the fact that you're reaching the people you need to reach. So, and unless you use your personal page for things that you feel may clash with your business, with maybe your business, with your business, I don't think it's a problem. What I mean by that is, if maybe you're very outspoken in terms of maybe political views, or some other very controversial views, that maybe a section of your maybe potential customer base may have a problem with. Of course, maybe that it may not be a good idea to have both your business page and your personal page on the same on the same handle. But if you don't have any views that you feel may be very controversial, or may turn off some potential customers, I mean, I don't see why the page cannot be the same thing. So that's what I think. But like I said, there's no rule to it, unless maybe it's something that can maybe make some potential clients feel, just, I can maybe turn them off. If there is nothing like that, I mean, it can be the same handle. That's what I think.
Okay, let me push a little further into this because I have seen a lot of it. Say you
Oh,
are not a marketing consultant, business analyst, right? Business
yes, yes.
analyst, or a lawyer, and you also like music. You like any of this Tiwa Savage, any of them? Yeah, you like them,
Okay.
and you're putting out the same message on the same pages over and over again on the same page. Wouldn't there be a dissonance, disconnect there?
Okay. I don't think I understand that part. Sorry.
Okay, let me ask you again. Let me say it again.
Okay.
Assume that I run a business analyst legal service, right?
Okay.
And I'm
Yes.
on Instagram, and at the
Okay.
same time, I am also pushing forward the kind of music I like or the kind of jokes I like. Is there any dissonance? Is there any dissonance in that, or is it okay?
I don't think that's a problem. I don't think that's a problem at all. I mean, people expect that you have. I think it is in a way it's even humanizes the business itself, because these days people don't just want they don't just want someone to just talk to them about just selling alone or just your business alone. They want to see the person behind the business. They want to communicate with the person behind the business. So I think in a way it humanizes the business itself. So I think it's fine to share your music taste, even food taste or food choices and other opinions like on your if that's I mean I don't think there's a problem with that.
Okay, we have a comment here. I'll just show you. It says,
Uh,
I don't think as a lawyer seeking to attract some serious paying clients, I should be posting myself boogieing to Booga. I don't know. I'll let you answer that.
okay, I don't think that's a problem. Honestly, I don't see that as a problem. I mean, it's a professional field, so but I don't see it as a problem. I mean, the immediate chairman of um the immediate is the NBA chairman. I think Mr. Barrister Olumide something. I mean, we're always seeing videos of him
Yes,
dancing. He
Apata.
likes
Yeah.
dancing a lot.
Oh yeah,
Yes,
he's
yes.
a dancer. Oh yeah.
So, so I don't think that's going to be a problem. I mean, people want to see people. I mean, generally just makes it possible for people to connect with the person behind the brand itself, behind the business itself. So
Okay. Okay. I mean, that's reassuring to know. That's really good to know. Yeah.
mm,
All right. So I think there's I want to refer to something that you said. This is a direct quote.
oh,
Well, not a direct quote. I think I manded it a little bit. You said apps and software are meant to make work easier and not to replace the need to learn what is required for a specific industry or profession. So let me repeat it. Like apps and
okay.
software are there to help make work easier. They're not there to replace the need to learn what is required for a specific industry or profession. This is you. This is what you said. What did you mean by that? And
I
what
didn't
should
get
we
that.
do
I
with
didn't
it?
get the beginning of that line. I didn't get the beginning of that line.
Okay, apps
Okay,
and
okay, okay. I
software.
think I
Yeah.
get. I understand now. Yes, I remember now.
Okay.
Okay, so what I meant by that was so say for instance you say you want to. I think I've been using email marketing too much. So let me say okay, let me still go with email marketing. Say you want to build funnels, and there are a lot of funnel tools to use. There's soft link, there is click funnels, there is active campaign, there's so, and you want to build a funnel, and you don't understand how to build the funnel itself. You go to you just enter ClickFunnels and start dragging and dropping, because ClickFunnels makes it easier. Just start dragging and dropping based on the templates they have. They have a lot of templates. I think ClickFunnels is the largest funnel builder. They're very expensive too, but they have the features for it. So and then you just start dragging and dropping. You would build a funnel, but it does not mean that you understand how funnels work. So what I was advocating with that was that you should understand how something works. You should be able to build a funnel, like just drawing something on a piece of paper. Build a funnel like just drawing something on a piece of paper, without having to use ClickFunnels. I mean, you will still enter ClickFunnels to build it, but if you don't understand it enough to be able to just draft it or just talk about it without having to look at maybe a drag and drop builder on ClickFunnels or Mailchimp, then you don't. What you understand is how to use the tools itself, how to use ClickFunnels. You don't understand funnel building. So, and
Uh,
if you, yeah, so, and a lot of it happens. People just learn the tools. They learn the tools to say maybe the tools to use to do SEO. They don't understand search engine optimization itself. They understand how to use Yoast SEO, all SEO, and the likes. they understand, they don't understand maybe social media analytics. They understand how to maybe use Facebook to check maybe the how to use Facebook to check maybe the number of people that are doing this or this or so that. So in a way, it is possible. I'm not advocating not flowing with technology. I'm very big on technology too, but I'm saying that if you want, you should seek to understand how to use, how to do something outside of maybe the popular tools first, so that if somebody asks you, for instance, there was a long time ago, I went for an interview and they wanted to build, that was before the company wanted to build a, they wanted to build a platform like an online store, and they wanted to onboard people on it. So they wanted a funnel, like, okay, how would you build something like this? And all I had to do was just I was given a sheet of paper, so I didn't have access to go online and anything. So you can easily just draw the stuff, just draw what, how, okay, this is the first step the customer is going, this is the first place the customer or the client is going to come in contact with the business. This is the next step. So if they take this step, this is what will happen. Maybe they will get a mail. If they take this step, this is what maybe they will get a mail or a call. If they take this step, or if they don't take this step, this will happen. So so you basically use an, if this happens, then this happens. If that happens, this happens. That's how you just build you flesh the funnel out. So if you understand the steps you want the customer to take or the client to take when they come in contact with your business, it is easier for you to then enter. Maybe you don't even need to know whether whether it's ClickFunnels you're using, or ActiveCampaign, or SoftLink, or MailChimp. You just enter it and use it as the tool to build it, but you understand the funnel itself. So it's the same with a lot of the tools, like you should understand how that what you want to achieve, how it works without using the tools before you don't use the tools. The tools should help make the work easier, not replace the mastery of that particular thing that you want to do. So yeah.
Okay. I get you now. Let's understand what it is about. Understand
Yes, yes,
why you're using that. Yeah. Don't
yes.
just throw it. Now, this is what happens a lot to
Okay.
us growing business owners. That people just come
Okay.
and say, "Oh, okay, we need to get mail funnels," and a lot of these words are intimidating, and
Okay.
because we don't know what it means, and people, yeah, and people find it kind
Yeah.
of shameful to say, I don't understand. I'm not one of
Yeah.
those people. I just say, well, break it down, speak English. Speak English to me. What does this mean? So
Mm.
I understand now, and I think you've actually empowered someone like me, and I hope our guests to be able to ask
Yes.
specific questions, because it shouldn't be all shrouded in mystery, you know.
Yes. Yes. Yeah.
Yes, I mean, I'm not
That's
going to come and do your work, but
yeah.
let me understand what you're going to do, and what I
Yeah.
expect to see. Yes.
Yes. Yes. That's true.
Okay. So I don't know. I just want to ask about your book. I have other questions here, but I just want to ask about your books. Because
Okay.
Jimmy's an author, he's a writer, and apart from being a marketing communications professional specialist, especially in the digital world. Okay, before that, let me ask you two things. Then we can settle
Okay.
down and finish up with the book. Now, it talks
Okay.
about somewhere about the power of hashtags and also influencer marketing. Can we talk
Mm.
about that? I mean, hashtags particularly baffle me. I
Okay.
don't know. I mean, I don't know if there's anyone here who is baffled by hashtags, but I am. You know,
Uh,
how do you generate, or do you just link onto a trending hashtag?
okay, so of course there are branded hashtags, like for instance the Julia Jacks Consulting, that's a company hashtag, but there are also hashtags that like that businesses use in the field. So for instance, if you're offering maybe a consultation on social media marketing or consultation on branding, there are hashtags in that field. But the idea is to not use just the popular ones. I mean, there is always the enticement of saying, okay, this hashtag has maybe 1.5 million posts under it, so let me just use it. Of course, you can combine those hashtags, but ultimately there are other hashtags like maybe probably branding or branding solutions or things that hashtags that have maybe 100,000 posts or 50,000 posts or even 1,000 posts. Those ones, they generally, it's easier for people to discover, for people to discover to discover posts that you make with those hashtags. Also, there is, I can't remember the formula now, but there's a formula to how hashtags are used. Maybe you use maybe 3 hashtags that I think you can use up to 30 hashtags. Most people don't use up to that, but there's a formula that, okay, maybe you use 3 hashtags that are over 1 million, that have over 1 million posts. You use maybe 2 that have 500,000 posts. You use maybe 5 that have less than 10,000 posts and things like that. So there's, I can't remember, like I said, I can't remember the formula now, but maybe I'll share with you see later. So
Please
but
share with me.
mostly, okay,
And you see.
I will, I will. So combining the hashtags that have different strength, different number of posts, makes it possible to easily discover those, for people to easily discover whether someone is looking for the popular, whether someone clicks on the popular branding hashtag or the branding solutions or the ones that have less views. They will easily discover the post. But there is also the part about also regularly checking hashtags, because the thing about hashtags is that some hashtags, when you use banned hashtags, it can generally reduce the visibility of the post. So most people don't know that some hashtags are banned. I think a while back I shared some hashtags, some banned hashtags. There's a tool that is used to check hashtags that have been banned too. I think I'll share that hashtag too, that tool to just share to check hashtags that have been banned. Because when you use it, it kind of reduces the visibility. So I'll share that hashtag too. I'll share the tool to check that too.
Please.
So I think that's that about the hashtags.
Yes. And the other big one is the influencer marketing, because some of
Yes,
us feel that if we can get influencers on our side, then
yes,
it will automatically deliver the
yes.
audience we want.
Yeah, influencer marketing, it's a bit dicey these days, because mostly the way influencer marketing is supposed to work is somebody that has used, it's supposed to be a niche thing, like somebody that has an authority in this field. I mean, we have the niche part, and then we have the ones that is based on just popularity. The one about popularity mostly works on, I think it works on Instagram, then on Twitter, the one that is called the trend campaign. But these days is difficult unless someone is a celebrity. It's used mostly for awareness. Like if you know that people are going to buy immediately. Like if it's for instance, if it's product based, like, oh, people are going to buy this immediately. That's how that works for, if you work with popular for influencers that you're using solely on the account of them being popular. But there are also the part where, for instance, if you use a niche influencer, say you want to sell you want to sell drugs, or want to sell, you want someone to buy maybe a new malaria drug or something like that, and you, for instance, contact somebody like a Proco doctor on maybe on Instagram or Twitter, and they talk about it. It's easier for people to buy from someone they trust, like a doctor that is already sharing ideas or things like that, rather than from somebody like me that doesn't know anything about medicine, and maybe you just try to you just try to ask me to post it based on the fact that maybe I have a large followership or something like that. So it will be easier for somebody to buy from, based on, because a Proco doctor posted it down, to buy something like that from me. So the same way on Facebook, we see a lot of influencer campaigns, and the thing with it is also that when you're talking to influencers, it's always good to look at people that don't just post everything, like people that don't just post everything. Because right now on Facebook, I think that an air of people no longer trust the influencer marketing part. People still buy, like I said, it's mostly about awareness now. You want to just create awareness about it. You don't necessarily you shouldn't expect much in terms of conversion, of instant conversion. But if it's about how creating awareness, so that people know that this product exists or this service exists, then fine. Because in the last few months, or in the last 1 year, there have been a lot of times when business initiatives, like I won't say business initiatives, like there have been businesses that turned to Ponzi schemes, and they were mostly pushed by influencers. So when people come out now and try to talk about a business or a product, people just generally tune off, just like the post and move on. So it's just for the awareness, no matter what the business is about, whether it's legit or not. People just, especially on Facebook, people just turn off. So, but on Instagram, I feel like it's still the popularity thing still works, but mostly if it's product based. But if it's service based, you have to continue. You have to continue to hammer it in, like maybe work with the influencer one a few times, not just once. Work with them a few times so that the business is in their face or the product is in their face in people's faces. And personally on Instagram, I would say that I mean I've worked with influencers on Instagram, but I would say that I would still favor running adverts over working with an influencer on Instagram, because adverts you spend less, and you will reach the core people you want to reach. You'll reach them, especially if your content and then your design is very straight to the point. You reach them. So, but if you're going to talk to an influencer on Instagram, you depending on the size of their followership and how well they have branded themselves, you will realize that the amount you're going to pay is probably going to run ads worth 3 months for you. And you will still, and with ads, you will still be able to get in people's faces and then still push retargeting on that budget. So while it works, it depends. While it works for awareness and the likes, in terms of conversion, the best bet may still be to go with running adverts on Instagram. On Twitter, it still works if you want to create awareness and also get people to sign up instantly to visit maybe a landing page, a website. But I would say that adverts work mostly on Instagram too. If unless you want to work with influencers a few times. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so guys, part of what we're talking about is the AIDA principle in marketing communications, which is awareness, interest, desire, and action. And by the time people are taking action, that is a full conversion. Then they take action again, and that's more conversion. And then they become brand believers, you know.
Yes.
But now I want to go to your book. I really want to go to your book. So if you guys have any other questions, you know. Now there are two books he has. He has a war is fiction, and Jimmy, I'm going to talk with Lucy later because I like to get books. I'm a book. If this thing wasn't here, you'd see part of my massive a massive collection of books, my library. You know, you know.
Oh,
So I'd like the two books. A wall is just a wall. I really like the title of that. But the other one that's got people interested yesterday was selling
yeah,
weeds to the police.
yeah,
I'm going to post it. Let me just write it in here so people can
yeah.
see. People who didn't see it.
Oh,
Ah, selling weed to the police, and that's a book about targeting your audience. Well, tell us about it, please. Tell us about it.
okay. So, selling weed to the police is a book on. I like to say that it's a book on um, customer psychology and how to get people to buy. Like I believe that for you to market to people, to sell to people, you have to understand them very well. And in the book, I delved into brand archetypes. I like because I believe so much in brand archetypes, how to understand how each person the different archetypes that exist, each person how you can the different archetypes that exist, how you get to communicate with them, how they want to, what they're about, the kind of communication they want to get from you, and things like that. So I delved into it, and the idea behind the title was, I think we're trying to run an advert one time like that. We're trying to, and we're working on, okay, what are some of the something that will sound ridiculous, like, okay, say you want to sell like some of the weird things, ways to sell to people, like say you want to sell house, you meet somebody on the road, someone that's it was a video, it's also supposed to be a video advert. You meet someone on the road, for instance, and maybe you see them maybe pushing a wheelbarrow, and then you're giving them flyers for a real estate in Banana Island or something like that. So like something like that, and then that was where so that was where the idea for, okay, let's just make a list of ideas for very ridiculous ways that you can be trying to sell to a wrong audience, and then how to let's niche down how to, and that was where we came across how to not sell to the wrong people, how to sell to the right people. Like that was the point of the tagline. So like understanding the target audiences for your business, where to find them, and what to say to them. And the book covered some of those things. it's first targeted, it's first communicated about the brand archetypes. It also communicated some of the challenges, some of the mistakes that people make when trying to reach people, when trying to communicate. I talked about how you can decide where to find, how you can figure out where to find your customers. Like, I mean, you won't find your customers. You can, like, one of the things we said at the beginning of this of Unplugged was that you don't have to use all platforms. You don't have to. I mean, you have to decide based on when you build a customer persona. You have to be able to decide, where am I going to find, where are my customers? What do they read? Where do they get their news? How did they get to work? Things like that. You have to understand them like you would understand maybe a friend or someone you're affiliated with, or someone, like, you can easily say that, okay, this is where this person will be. This is how I can reach them there. This is how I can talk to them there. This is what they would like to hear from me. Whether they would like to get a WhatsApp message, or they would like to get an email from me, or a call. This is when they wake up. Ideally, it may not be exactly for that, like that, for everybody, but it captures the kind of person they are, and then it helps you communicate. So if you know, for instance, if you understand, for instance, how somebody, how like where you can go, say, you know that, oh, if I go to this place, I will meet this person there. It's easy for you to just go there and sit down and talk. Know that, okay, at this point, this person will be here, and it's easy for you to just go there and talk to them. Also, when you understand them better, you won't be saying, for instance, let's say you're running advert, you won't be saying whether you are this or that, or in case you are this, you're saying it with a level of assurance, because you know that
Yeah.
this is who they are, this is the problem they have. So you are saying it, so it's easy for them to, when they see it, to come to be able to understand it, that, oh, this person understands the pain and the challenges I'm having with my business or with this, and they will easily connect with it and maybe take the action you want them to take, whether you want them to drop their email address or drop their phone number so that you can call them, or buy something or sign up. It makes it easier for them to take the action you want them to take. So yes, that's kind of what is summarized. But that's the book summarized.
Fantastic. Fantastic. Is this an ebook or is it a physical book?
It has an ebook and it's a physical book too. Like, we printed some copies. We sold
Okay.
we sold the copies out. So we're doing reprints. So when the reprints are out, I told you, see, that when the reprints are out,
Ah,
I would share. Yeah.
I was going to say I won, so I can't read the ebook.
But it's
I'm
a physical
I'm
copy.
I'm that person that underlines. Yeah, send me your copy, Jimmy. I'm sure, James. I know you have a copy. Send me your copy. I underline things in books. I write my own book beside the book
Yeah.
because we have
Okay.
somebody else who would like both of your books. Yeah. So
Yes.
uh,
Yeah.
the two orders. I mean, is there anybody else who would like his books? Because I mean, I'm utterly fascinated. But in the meantime, how would we get the ebook? Oh, okay. My sister IQ, 1Q Food Plaza says she will wait for the reprints. Yeah, there are many of us who want the reprints, you know. But how can we, James? I think you're slightly frozen or very frozen. Okay, you're back. How can we get the
Okay.
ebook while we're access to the ebook while we're waiting for the reprint?
Okay. I'll share the ebook tomorrow. I'll share the ebook tomorrow. Or maybe after maybe later today, I'll share the ebook with UC, or I'll share the ebook with you via mail. I'll share the ebook with.
Okay, but how about other people? Because I know you should pay. I mean, this is your intellectual
Yes, yes,
property. It needs to be paid for. Yeah.
yes, 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 yes.
You
Okay,
tell
so
us all that
what I did,
process.
I would, okay. There was, yes, yes. There was a landing page that I built for the book, is selling with to the police.com. But I took it down temporarily because a lot of people were making inquiries about it. So I just made I once you I think there's a box on it that where you drop your email address. But then when you get the communication once you drop the email address, that tells you that once the physical copy is out, you get it. But I will communicate with you after this so that I'll know how to get it across, and the process. I'll share the process too.
Okay, okay. Because we'd like to share it with people, and we also like to
Mm.
we like to share knowledge in Julian Jack's
Yes, yes.
consulting. So that's one of the things we like to give people. When they say cut soap for me, I don't know if that's a thing anymore. That's the soap we like to cut. We like to cut knowledge, you know,
Yeah.
to people.
All
And
right.
how about the other book? a wall is just a wall. Is that still available?
Yes, yes, it's a novel. Yes, yes. That
Okay,
is available on Okada Books. It's available on Okada Books and Amazon. Yes.
okay.
So I'll share
And
the
do you have
links. I'll
any?
share the links.
You share the links. Okay,
No,
you don't have
I
any
don't have
copies
there's no
yourself.
physical copy. No, there is no physical copy. I
Okay,
have the copies myself. I have the copies. There's no physical copy for a wall is just a wall, but it's just that one is just ebook. So yes.
all right. So,
Yeah.
well, I was just waiting to see if we have any more questions, but I think that's a great note for us to end on too, because
Mm,
what it says to me is that you know your audience and you know how to intrigue them. You know,
mm,
we got so many comments. People said this is interesting. People said, "Oh, I'm going to join tomorrow to find out about this." Yes, yes, and they
mm,
may have all joined for different reasons. You know, but
yeah.
you
Yes.
got all of us across the age demographic. You got us. You got us.
Yeah.
You probably got the police as well. So, yeah. But thank you. Is there any other question, anything that people would like to know as they're building the? I've gotten a lot of information, and I'll tell you one thing for sure: when somebody knows their stuff, please pay for them. Don't. Hmm, let me find a way to say it because I'm saying it for myself. Please don't price it as if you're pricing crayfish. Even crayfish is expensive now. Mm? Please pay people and they will deliver. And you have terms and conditions. There must be terms of engagement, what you expect, you know. And I think one of the comments you made, or somebody made that good marketing can sell a bad product. I don't know if that is true. I don't know what you think. I think if the product is bad, yeah, you could sell it for a few minutes, a few sales, but once the product is bad, bad, bad,
Yeah.
that's it. Yeah, after the interest,
Mm,
you know.
mm,
Oh, you have another copy for the. Okay, so what's gonna happen is that please watch out on our page from tomorrow or today, depends on you see, yeah, and James, and we will get all the people who want to get the book, and
mm.
we'll let him know or we'll let you know. You know, so I've gotten three people here for now, including the physical. So I'll do the ebook and the physical as well, just because I'm extremely
Okay.
curious. I want to know. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. So, James, thank you so much. Oh, okay. We have a fourth person. Fantastic. Okay.
Okay.
All
Yeah.
right. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
We will push this. This is part of what we do. We like to collaborate and not just sell our market, but whoever is our guest, make sure that whatever they have to sell is also available to
Yeah.
our audience. Yes. You know.
Okay. Yes, yes. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone on IG for following us. I'll just thank you. See you next week. Next week, we are going to talk about the back end and other interesting things about the digital universe, including the metaverse, which I'm looking forward to and understanding how I will become an avatar, in the metaverse, So come join us next week when we speak with Edima Iwan about the back end and all that comes with it, the back end of the digital world. It's going to keep getting interesting, trust me. So bye bye on Instagram and see you next week, Thursday. And on Facebook, thank you so much, everyone who joined us and stayed till the end. We really appreciate you. We appreciate your engagement. We appreciate your questions, and definitely, well, James has. I think the network has finally taken him out. So see you guys next week. Join us same time next week, Thursday, Julia Jacks Consulting, and we will see you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you, Lavenders and Uncle Lucia. We see you. Thank you. Bye bye.